Psychological research is well established now in scientific investigations. Notable progress has been made in this field. What psychologists study, it is generally about why animals behave in a certain way that they do. But these behaviors does not only deal with the overt reactions, that what is being seen from outside, but it also deals with the covert processes that acts in the backdrop of such researches. By research, we generally mean a systematic study and observation of facts relating to a problem. There are certain salient features of the research. The features of importance are that research should have logic and it should be objective. Now, why I'm saying so? Because the process of any research is to find out facts. On the basis of these facts, inferences are drawn. For example, if we assume that all the vegetarian people living in the urban area or in the rural areas, they have a long life, then on basis of this assumption, we can draw a conclusion that vegetarianism is the cause of longevity. So, objective means observing the true pictures of a phenomena without being affected by the observer's own opinion. Now, here the proof of this assumption should not be guided by only by the observer's whim. It should have proper facts, proper valued data to support this finding and reach, so that we can reach to a logical conclusion of this assumption. So we just can't make any conclusion regarding any assumption without having a very strong support of evidence acting at its backdrop. Next, that a research should have reliability and validity. Now, why so? Because reliability and validity both are like a truth of any research, and a research should be truthful. So, regarding that truthful nature, the research should be reliable and valid. This can be established obviously on the basis of the evidences based on sufficient reliable data. If the data is reliable, the research will be reliable, and obviously the inference or the conclusion of that research is also reliable. The reliability and validity can be attained when the error or the bias of sampling is minimized. Now we will be studying about sampling and the other things in detail in our later lectures. Next is verification. Now, any conclusion drawn by a researcher is subject to a quality of verification. Verification presupposes the phenomenon of research being observed and measured. If a research is not based on observation and measurement, the verification will not be possible, and inferences drawn from such studies will not serve the purpose. So, a research should be verifiable also. It must be verifiable. Next is accuracy. The sampling methods that are used in any types of research study, it should be based on accuracy. That is, the sampling should be accurately done of the population. That means the sample should be a representative sample of the population. It is the duty of the investigator that he should be well versed with the techniques used for the collecting informations. Complete accuracy can be obtained when a standardized methods or standardized tools are used for collecting, recording, and analyzing the data. So, for the proper findings to be inferred from a research, data collection, starting from collection of data to the calculations, everything should be done in a proper way, in a standardized way. Next is impartiality. The problem of impartiality is a part of the problem of objectivity. Knowing reality is based on the correct method dealing with logic. Partiality leads to wrong information and it fails to give fruitful results to the investigator. Now, why this partiality? See, when I said about logic and objective and the objective finding of data, we should have an impartial investigator. That is, if the investigator believes in the suppositions, the assumptions, and he works on proving his assumptions only and have a bias in towards proving that and taking those informations only that actually helps proving his assumptions, then that will be a very partial form of data collection. So a research to be logical and objective, it also needs to be impartial. That is, the researcher also needs to be impartial in collection of data, that if while the observation is going on, if he sees that his assumptions, what he seems to be, what he felt is what his assumptions was, actually are not getting those exact results that it thought it should be, that he thought he would get, that might not affect the collection of data. He should be impartial in collecting the informations so that logical formulations of inferences and conclusions can be done properly. Next is scientific approach. Now, traditional cultures was based on superstitions, and there was obviously lack of scientific integrity in the functions. Now, in the modern culture, this is based on the scientific attitude and scientific method of approach. So, with the changing dimensions and the changing scenarios, the scientific progress has led to the scientific research through which an instrument of reliability has been attained. Now, next is, and the last important feature of research is proper recording and reporting of the research findings. In any research, every term is well defined, every procedure is described in detail, every limiting factor is taken into account. References used in the research are carefully discussed, and the results drawn in the field of research are objectively recorded. Conclusions and generalizations are drawn with care, with the limitations of methodology and data. When all these things are well recorded and they can be used as a source of investigation, that is, a source of later investigations for further research in the future, this serves a very important purpose for the enhancement of, for the growth of the knowledge of that field of study. So, recording and reporting, proper recording and reporting of the research is very essential. Thus, by psychological research, the scientist generally aims at gaining knowledge about behavior and the mental functions of the individuals. Empirical investigations in any field require proper scientific methods to conduct and measure an experiment, and obviously psychology also does this, and accordingly we have enumerated the salient features also. Now, generally there is actually two sections of total research procedure. The first is the context or the matter of discovery, and the second is testing the context, that is providing justification of the study. That means first we have to find out what is the first section that deals with the necessary informations regarding the study, about about the study. What is the study matter, what is the content of the study, what we are studying, the context on which the study is being made. And the second part of the research that deals with the justifying the results and providing inferences regarding those results. This second part of research involves use of statistics in qualitative analysis. Now, this part, the statistic part, is important in our this semester, and we will be discussing about this in our next video. Today's topic was all about the concept of research, and hope this topic was clear to you. If you have any doubts, please communicate to me. Thank you, class.